Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com.
We're here in LaPorte County and actually LaPorte, Indiana, and this is the entryway to the city of LaPorte. And I'm actually standing in front of a round barn. This property is owned by Dr. Pete Kessling, and he was a dentist, and he lives here close by, and the county museum is also here. But this round barn has been totally redone several times, and he upkeeps it. And we're here today for a plow day with draft horses, and we have some draft mules. And people are coming with their horses, maybe all the way from Auburn and Angola and southern part of our county. The county is the second largest in the state land-wise. Allen County is the biggest. But right in front of this round barn is a field, and we're going to plow that with draft horses today. And what's unique about the draft horse thing is all these groups coming. We'll probably have 20 to 30 teams here today. And ours is the only county in the state that also has a 4-H draft horse project. And there'll be some kids here today plowing, and the people that work with these young people are all members of an association that they formed of draft horses. And I think that's probably one of the only ones in the state too. So it's a unique experience. It's right here by the state highway. And so people coming by that may not want to come here on purpose see what we're doing, and they'll pull in. So we'll have a crowd here later in the day. All kinds of draft horses. We got both the Belgian horses and the other team, I'm not supposed to say, but Pertrons. They kind of kid each other, you know, like whether you got a Ford or a Chevy. So kind of a unique experience, and we do this yearly so that the old ways are remembered, and this is how life was way back actually in the 1900s, up to about 1920. It's the way America was formed. This is it. Used to be a farmer provided for his family, and there were 98% of the people were farmers, and they had 10 acres, you know, maybe, and they used their horses not only for work, sometimes pleasure, to take a buggy to town if there was a town, or to their neighbor's house. But the draft horse was, they call the gentle giant, and it was very docile and gentle, and they could use it with kids or themselves, and a real workhorse, which you can see later today when they start plowing. So it's the heritage of America. There's a land-grant university in every state of the United States, and they are trained from research from the university for county extension people. And these people would go out to farmers and tell them what's going on. Well, people could come into one central location, and actually sometimes the university people would come out and present what's going on. And here a plug, I worked with 4-H for many years. Well, you know, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And so what was happening, they would teach these young kids in 4-H, and they would go home and fight with Dad and say, you know, this is the way it should be done. Well, if Dad didn't ever agree or try it, when the kid got 20, 22, they did it their way, and it worked out. So some of the old ways, like we're plowing here today, it's kind of a hobby, but it is a heritage. Mm-hmm. So really proud to do this kind of stuff. And these guys love their animals, they love their equipment, and they just, like I say, it's a hobby, probably an expensive one, but some people have motorcycles and Lake Michigan boats and things, and so they put their money in their horses and their equipment and trailers and trucks.
My friend and I in 6th grade decided that we wanted to join 4-H, but we weren't exactly sure what we wanted to do. Something animal related, but we didn't have animals ourselves. We knew that we were big horse fans. So it was kind of just chance almost that we happened to join draft horses. It was the best chance that we ever took because it's been a great 7 years. It's unfortunately my last, which is very disappointing, but.
Okay, well, tell us what you thought about when you first joined. The first year, everything was new to you, and as you progressed, you got more responsibility and abilities, and tell us about that.
When I first joined, I'd been around smaller horses, which would be almost regular size horses, and I thought these horses would be no big deal. And then I first came around them and I was actually afraid of them for the first time because they're just so massive compared to like quarter horses that I've been around. So it's definitely intimidating at the very beginning, but sooner or later, once you get to know them and know how to be around them, they're gentle giants, really. I mean, that's exactly what they are. They're so sweet. I have definitely had a lot of challenges through 4-H and through doing draft horses, but they've all been good challenges. Challenges that have made me to be the person I am today. Well, it definitely has made me more responsible because you're taking care of these animals and they're completely depending on you during, like when you're driving them. They don't know exactly where you want them to go and everything like that, so they're completely dependent on you, so you feel this almost a mothering responsibility over these horses, you know, like, so it's definitely, yeah, there's responsibilities.
So it's helped you mature.
Most definitely.
And you're not always on your screens and playing video games and Facebooking. It's
well, I do that too,
sure.
but I mean, I try to get out to the farm as much as possible. Unfortunately, my horses aren't on site, but thankfully through 4-H you're able to use someone else's horses, which is amazing. I try to get out to the farm as much as I can in the summer and practice with my horses, Mr. Smith's horses. Yeah, I ask questions all the time. That's just, I want to be the best that I can and also make sure that the horses are as safe as possible, so I make sure to ask questions. Am I doing this right? Is this how I should be doing this? Did I do something wrong? How can I improve? Just all the time finding out how to better myself in the project.
Did the older adults enjoy teaching?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think they really enjoy the questions. I think it makes them feel.
We like the help, and it's just amazing to me is that I can remember when I had to tell Hannah which, I would throw the harness on, and I'd have to tell her which strap to fasten where, and then go around and see if she did that. And actually now she can get the harness on and she does things, and she comes in. It's just a pleasure to see somebody to be able to do that when they don't live with the horses like my boys used to. She can come in occasionally and get it done. She remembers well, and it's been a great experience. And she's got a lot of respect of the other club members like Hannah because of what she's done to help them and admire it. And parents, 4-H leaders admire Hannah for her leadership and willingness to cooperate, get things done. We just completed a survey of our Draft Horse Association, which is the adult group. And one of the questions I ask is, why do you belong to this group? Or relative, how important is 4-H to it? And it's 80% said that's the reason they're in the LaPorte County Draft Horse Association Club, is because of what we do with kids, or we have kids involved, and it's a combination of families, adults, not always relation, with working with kids, and enjoy seeing kids do this, just like this. That's great. So that's why we do it, and the kids are a very important part of it to us.
My name's Kyle Kozlowski.
Are you from the LaPorte area?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And these are a pair of Belgians. What are their names?
Tom and Tony.
Okay, both geldings?
Yes.
How old are they?
About 5. Both about 5.
Both about 5?
Yep.
What do you do with them?
They're just mainly for pleasure and hobby. Nothing serious. Most of the year they just kind of graze on the pasture, and it comes to fair season, nice out, we'll plow with them and take them to local fairs and compete.
They're pretty well broke for 5 years old for not working them every day.
Yes.
They do good.
The gentleman we bought them from was up in the upper Michigan, and he used them for logging. And he likes to keep young horses so that way they don't get hurt or get too old for him, and then he's got to take care of them and everything and poo. And so he likes to swap them out pretty regularly.
You like coming out here to this event?
Yes.
Is this your first time, or you've been out here several?
No, this is our second, third time.
Uh-huh.
I like the one where we go out to Fisher's Farm, and we got a bigger field, so we got more area. But this is nice. Everybody gets to see us coming down the road and stop and see what's going on.
Is this your plow?
No, it's actually my father-in-law's. He has a team of mules.
Is this a John Deere?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Do you know what model it is?
I do not off the top of my head.
That's fine. That's fine. It's working pretty good for you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, just needed, when we first got here, we had to do a couple adjustments to get it set up right, but then after that, we were golden.
Do you learn a lot from the others around here doing these kinds of events?
Yes. There's some older fellas that they've actually seen their dads or they've even used them. And we usually go to them guys and they'll help us out and show us what we're doing wrong.
Because they can make it look pretty easy.
Yes.
And it's not that easy.
No.
Just a couple settings changes makes a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. We messed with it for about 4 hours yesterday, and all it was as simple as moving a little bolt back here on the seat, and we were good to go.
Yeah, it's amazing how they can see that right away too.
Yep.
But there's a lot of settings that can be moved around.
When I grew up, I didn't have them, but my grandma would tell me my great-grandpa would plow barefoot out in Mill Creek, and he'd plow hundreds of acres of field barefoot, and that was all he did.
I got a show on RFD TV, and there's a lot of people see it, and then they maybe want to get into this kind of stuff. What kind of a recommendation would you give them if they wanted to get started with horses?
I would suggest go to somebody and become friends with them and try it. Make sure before you invest a lot of money. I have in these 2 horses just $5,000. That's a lot of scratch to put down just for a hobby, you know. But
and that's just the start.
Yeah, that's just the start. The harnesses alone, they're probably about $1,000 a piece, and then you start getting in the wagons. And luckily, I'm handy enough. I used to do construction, so we built all our own wagons. So that saved a lot of money. But if you had to buy them, they're about another $2,000.
This is your plow?
Right.
What kind of plow is it?
Emerson.
What's the model?
I
Don't know?
have the
Sure,
clue what model
sure.
it is, but we took the bottom off of this plow and put an Oliver bottom on it. Oliver bottom pull a lot easier. They're easier to set. You can get more pitch out of it to where it sucks it into the ground. When you get ready to set it, you want to make sure that you got this here pretty well in line with the beam so that the plow is actually following the horses. Okay, this wheel's got to stay in the furrow. So you want it not all the way down, because if you do that, you're going to be setting on the plow like this. This wheel here gives me the depth. Okay, and the further back up this way, the more it cocks it over, and the more depth that I'm going to get, because the plow should be sucking it in.
You know, we're looking out the window here, I can see this round barn. And we grew up in this area as kids. And my dad, he had a string of 20 ponies when he was a kid on this draft horse farm that his dad ran down near Logansport. So mine was named Patsy and his is named Judy. He says, we're going to have to get one of these, get this Judy, get her bred. So he brought her over to this round barn. And I'm lucky he didn't bring me along because he knew what to do. And I think my brother got an education there he never forgot. We had this ground, we bought the land with the round barn. We got about 300 acres, and it included this land. This is going back into the 30 years ago.
I started working on the barn. I've been working on and off on it for 25 years at least. It was in bad shape when they bought it and needed a roof, and this side of the barn was 11 inches into the ground. The woodchucks and stuff underground the cornerstones and let it go down. So we just pecked away at it. First I removed the siding up to 6 feet and sistered in studs. And then we ordered new timbers, put new timbers under it, and then we raised it. And we no longer have real cornerstones, but the real cornerstones are there. I raised it up far enough to set the cornerstones on concrete piling. And then we also poured a cement foundation, set it back like 4 inches, so when you look at the barn, you visually don't see it because originally didn't have it. But the main reason for that was to keep the critters out from undermining it again. All the inside is original, and the outside, if we walk around it, you can see what the original siding is and what isn't. I ended up using red cedar because it has a rougher texture, so when we machined them in my shop, we could paint it and look old, and it was the only lumber I could find that was 7/8 of an inch thick too, to match the old.
This is a 2-story barn?
Yes.
With a cupola.
And you really have to go upstairs to appreciate the barn. Yeah. The original stalls had, and I haven't got that far, you'll see I got some clay tile tubes. There's one behind you. The original stalls, because I had to put new timbers on this floor, so I took it all up, put new timbers, I found the drain tile. And they had stones around it and then fine gravel inside. And everybody said, well, they didn't have cement floors. I said, no, but when this clay gets hard and wet and packed,
it's almost cement.
It's almost cement.
Uh-huh.
So we cleaned them all out and brought in new pulverized clay. And it's been a real fun project. Everybody wants to know what Dr. Pete's going to do with the barn. And he said, preserve it. Because some people say antique shop or dance hall. No, it's a barn. Most everything inside is original. Sometime someone, before they owned it or bought it from the Historical Society, come in with a chainsaw and stole some of the big partition timbers there.
Okay.
If you look close, you can see they're really thick. One of the other cool things about the partition walls, if you was to walk over and kick them, and you can see where the horses kicked them, they're free floating. They're fastened together with a steel peg, and they're thicker at the bottom and real thin at the top. So if we'd walk over and kick that wall behind you, it'll flex.
Instead of break.
Instead of breaking. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll be in a real old barn and there will be a wall or a board that has writing on it. Like people, you got one of those?
We got one of these.
Do you? Can I see
Yeah,
it?
yeah. We put in the new timbers. When we dug out, we dug this stuff up. But most of the writing we found was just
Scratched.
right in here. And one of the other interesting things is I'm kind of a perfectionist, and so is Dr. Pete. Because of his livelihood, you know, everything's straight and good. I had 2 young guys helping me, and when we were sistering in the studs and stuff and doing a little repair work, he bent over a couple nails. I said, pull them out. He said, why? Nobody's going to see them. I said, I've been working on this barn for 25 years. I know every square foot of the barn. I've only found 1 bent nail. That was on the siding up here where the lettering is. So I said, I'll pay you for a half hour and you just walk around this barn and find me a bent nail. Well, he found some, but I said these were added. There's a ladder upstairs, there's some bent nails and stuff, but I said, no, these guys were craftsmen. The barn is really well built.
And so it's got a manger for hay, and then it's also got a manger for grain.
Mm-hmm. It's got the wire on it to keep them from chewing it. The original doors swang in because if a horse kicked the swing out door, they could kick the swing out door out. And eventually we're going to put the original square bolts back in here. We found a place to that sells them. I don't know if I can open the transom or not. Hasn't been open for a while. We'd swing this latch out and let the transom hold the barn open, or the vent open.
So you'd ventilate the barn without having the doors open.
Mm-hmm. See, the bottom of the king post has been cut off. Now, when they built the barn, that went clear down through the floor. That supported everything. When they got all trussed up, they cut it off. Put their catwalk in. This went all the way up.
Huh.
Because this was filled full of loose hay.
Right.
So we're contemplating or thinking
Sure.
that this side, the
You'd
narrow
have to have a
side, was
channel.
open so that they could pitch it down.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have some kind of a channel, and that would protect it from filling up, obviously.
Yeah, and it would also give it fresh air into the
Yep.
center.
Yep. If you wouldn't have done this, what kind of shape would this barn be in?
It wouldn't be here.
It would have fallen down.
Yeah, because once the roof goes, the rest of it goes.
Right.
Watching them here with them.
Yeah. That's a great stairs.
Isn't it? For a
It's-
barn?
Yep, it really is. It would have been so easy just to have come straight down and stopped.
Yeah.
And this is a
That's the grain
granary.
bins.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. But there you can see the chute door.
And that one's down there. It's just kind of filled in.
Yeah, that one's filled.
Kinda
I keep
covered.
bringing people up here once in a while and I say, if you want a job,
Clean
I
it
got
out.
one for you. And then this one, we're positive was for ear corn because of the size of the chute and stuff.
Right. All right, so how did they auger the grain up?
That's another thing we don't know. If they
Yeah.
run an auger up, or if they had a bucket on the track, we haven't found anybody that knows.
Huh.
But, you know, and this was built in 1882, so around 1890 and stuff, things were
Belt-driven.
starting to get a little bit more mechanized.
Yep,
and
they were belt-driven machines,
Yeah.
stationary especially.
it's like the sawmills, you know, they were.
Yes.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.